Hello, thank you everyone for joining us. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023, and this is the regular meeting of the Litchfield Governing Board. I hereby call this meeting to order. The first item on the agenda will be the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could please stand and join us. Hello, thank you everyone for joining us. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023, and this is the regular meeting of the Litchfield Governing Board. Next up, we will have a moment of silent reflection. Next, we are going to move on to recognitions, and first will be Executive Director Nuanez.
Madam President, Governing Board members, Superintendent Davidson, and community members present online. The success of our students relies heavily on the ability of our teachers to effectively communicate and inspire. There's an added challenge when English is not their primary language. That is why tonight we celebrate Director of ELD, Jennifer Larson, and her team. Estamos muy orgullosos del trabajo que Directora Larson y su equipo han logrado este verano. So that translates into we are extremely proud of Director Larson and all the work that her team has done this summer. The English Language Development, or ELD, provided high-quality summer learning opportunities to close achievement gaps and prevent the summer slide of our multilingual learners. Taught by the language experts in our teaching ranks, the summer support program included both academic and enrichment activities that provided the opportunity for our English learners to excel to proficiency and beyond. Incorporating reading, writing, listening, speaking, and STEAM activities, the multilanguage learners are well on their way to educational excellence as the growth numbers demonstrate. Now, here is the true success. Incorporating on their pre-post ELD Academy assessments in reading, writing, listening, and speaking, it showed that kinders grew an average of 17%. First graders, 25%, grades 2 and 3, 22%, grades 4 and 5, 14%, and grades 6 through 8 were on an average of 16%. You know, as data always demonstrates, that this is what success really looks like. So join me tonight and the LASD 79 family as we celebrate the Director of ELD, Jennifer Larson, and her team.
We greatly appreciate all the work that you do in this district, so thank you so much. And with that, acknowledging you, we'd love to call you up next to be a presenter for us.
Rookie mistake. I apologize. My name is Jen Larson. I am the Director of English Language Development, and I am honored to lead our excellent ELD team here in Litchfield Elementary School District. This time last year, I brought you an update for our English Language Development program, building capacity beyond compliance. So I just wanted to come back a year later and celebrate all of the achievement that we have made. So tonight's presentation aligns with our student success pillar and our finances and resources pillar. And I want to circle back and just remind everyone about our district demographics to learn more about the multilingual learners that we serve. So this slide is very language heavy, but our English learners are not one size fits all. They come from not only different countries, they speak different languages and different cultures, but our students also have various proficiency levels from pre-emergent, the beginning ELs, to our intermediate. We have students that are migrant students who travel and move due to economic necessity, looking for agricultural work. We have students that are refugees that have left their countries because of persecution or war or violence. We have our newcomers. Those are students that have recently immigrated to the United States. We currently have over 75 newcomers that have been in the US for less than 2 years in our district that we serve from all over the world. And not only do those students are they learning a new language, but a new culture and a new school system. We also serve students that are dual serviced. So they are on an IEP, but they also receive English learner services. So as you can see, our English learners have a variety of unique needs. Here in Litchfield, we have students or families that have over 44 different primary home languages. We also have students right here in our district that were born in over 60 different countries. Our English language development program this year served 540 students, and we had approximately 113 monitor students, so students that have exited the program within the last 2 years. Our top 4 languages here in LESD are Spanish, Norwegian, Arabic, and Vietnamese. This is almost in line with the state of Arizona. Norwegian is up there, and I do want to draw your attention again to unique needs of our district. Since we are right here near Luke Air Force Base, our top languages often change every 3, 4, 5 years, depending on the programs that are at Luke. So that top language will vary from year to year, depending on the specialized programming there at Luke. So what does building capacity mean? And that is looking at all levels to help address the needs of our multilingual learners. So again, as a reminder of our legislative context, why we're here, Senate Bill 1014 was EL legislation that was signed into law in February of 2019. Previous to that, we had a 4-hour SEI model. So all students that qualified for English learner services were required to have 4 hours of daily English language development. This legislation in 2019 dropped those minimum daily requirements from that 4-hour model to a 2-hour model. And that states that all students in K-5 will have 120 minutes of daily English language development instruction, and in 6-12, 100 minutes of English language development instruction. And then also in that was the state board adopted research-based SEI models, which changed greatly the dynamics of our structured English immersion program. I had the privilege to be on the EL advisory committee with the state during this time to lay the foundation of the new SEI models coming from that legislation. And in that, Arizona's language development approach was devised. These are 4 principles that are the foundation of the needs of our English language learners and looking at what is non-negotiable. And so those are 4 principles. It's very hard to see on that graphic, but the middle of that graphic is my very favorite. And it is saying that all educators share the responsibility of promoting our English learner success. And that is something that we have worked incredibly hard on as a team to engage our administrators and our classroom teachers and our EL coordinators to all work cohesively to promote the success of our English learners. So those 4 principles, principle 1 is asset-based behaviors and expectations. So our students come to us with prior knowledge. That knowledge might not yet be in English, but they do come to us with that background. And so we're tapping into that to add English to their linguistic repertoire. Principle 2 is integrated English language instruction. That is with ELs and non-ELs in a classroom setting. And it is integrating that language and content to learn in tandem in the mainstream classroom. Principle 3 is targeted and explicit language instruction. That's the instruction that our our EL coordinators provide. Again, it's exactly what it is, targeted and explicit language instruction to promote learning language and supporting it with content. And then principle 4 is assessment, monitoring, and feedback. The model that our district uses is the SEI pullout model. There are 4 models, but this is the one that we utilize. And that states that 60 minutes of integrated English language development takes place in the classroom. So again, that's the mainstream classroom, and they are implementing language scaffolds in order for our English learners to access the content. And principle 3 is that targeted English language development that's provided by our EL coordinators. It's ELs only, and they're really targeting those structured English immersion strategies to help accelerate English language proficiency. So we have an EL coordinator on each campus, and they carry a lot of expertise. They carry the expertise of our English language proficiency standards, how to support our newcomers, how to work directly with our classroom teachers in order to accelerate that language acquisition. They look at students' data and use that to track their language development and drive instruction. And they are also serving as that liaison from our EL families and advocating for our English learner students. Our ELD team and our teachers here at LESD receive a variety of training and support. Our EL coordinators meet with me every other week to target the unique needs of their campuses and their students. We have Azella data meetings where we look at the Azella data and see what our students did well at and what we still need to help support our students with. We have monthly meetings as an ELD team. So we come together and look at, again, the needs of our team, the needs of our students, and what professional learning we can do together. We also this year had a targeted ELD unit planning committee where we came together to create lessons specific for our targeted ELD time based on our curriculum and the ELP standards. We also implemented co-planning for integrated ELD, which I'm very proud of, and I have another slide to go over exactly what co-planning for integrated ELD is. Our district-wide ELD professional development is for the 2019 ELP standards and integrated ELD. Those every teacher in our district has had. We have a session coming up for our new teachers in those two areas. Our EL coordinators also meet with our integrated ELD classroom teachers on a bi-weekly basis to help plan for those linguistic scaffoldings. So this year we rolled out co-planning for integrated ELD. Again, this was that all educators share that responsibility, and how can we help intentionally plan for linguistic scaffolds into lessons to help support and make our content comprehensible for our multilingual learner students. So together they co-design scaffolds, they take a look at the content objectives, design language objectives, they can plan out the scope of a unit, they can plan assessments, intentionally group students, and look at language data and what that tells us to have students show what they know or give enrichment opportunities to if they've already learned it. Another thing that I'm incredibly proud of this year is that we had our state EL program monitoring visit. And this was, my 7th audit I think I've had from the state, and definitely the most intensive one that we've had to date. However, we passed with flying colors. So I am very happy to announce that we are not in corrective action, which is incredibly hard to do under these new models. So that was a great feat for our district. So much so that ADE was very impressed, and we are now serving as a model district. So I've had several other districts come and observe what we're doing in our English language development program. So what the what the audit looked at was our forms and our documentation. It looked at our SEI model implementation. So how are we doing on integrated ELD as well as targeted ELD? And as you could see, that it met 100% of the requirements for both of those principles. So another success this year was our first annual Multilingual Learner Family Literacy Night. That took place back on April 26th. This was a fun-filled night for our multilingual families to come together to have a night of literacy without language barriers. We had classes both in Spanish and English to help families establish the importance of a family reading routine, to empower them that they are their child's first teacher, that you can build that literacy at home. So we equipped the parents with those tools from breakout sessions. Our students got to shop for a book, so they came in and picked books. We had our fabulous coordinators who had different activities for our students to do, literacy activities while their parents were in a breakout session. And the best part of the whole night was that we had a performance of Tomas and the Library Lady from Child's Play Theater. So it was an incredible night. Our families had a wonderful time, and I'm excited for our second annual Family Literacy Night coming up this year. As Mr. Nguyen has talked about the ELD Academy, we just wrapped up our second ELD Academy. It was June 5th through the 29th. We had 75 of our pre-emergent, emergent basic English learners. So those are our beginning English learners in grades kindergarten through 8th grade across all 15 schools in the district. We were housed at Corte Sierra. We incorporated reading, writing, listening, and speaking activities, as well as STEAM, to engage our students and accelerate and enrich their English language proficiency. It was taught by our language specialists trained in those structured English immersion strategies. So we shared some of the data with you, and it's also in the board report this month too from our ELD Academy. We had 5 amazing teachers, myself included. I taught our middle school. I had a group of newcomers in 6th through 8th grade. And everything was thematic. So everything was based on ocean. So we had amazing discussions, especially about things going on in the news and being able to connect that with learning that we were doing over the summer. We had 4 amazing instructional assistants join us to help support that small group instruction. And again, a lot of support for our newcomer students during our ELD Academy. So moving forward, looking on to the 23-24 school year, we are going to move forward with some language assistance services to make sure that there are no invisible barriers for our multilingual families, that we can bring them into our schools with the language of their preference. We are going to start cafecitos, and those are going to be parent meetings, specifically for our Spanish-speaking parents, to bring them into our schools and let them know about all the wonderful opportunities that they have to be involved in their child's education. We are going to have a elementary and a middle school ELD PLC. We are going to expand on our newcomer toolkit. That was a website that I had launched this year just to house all the resources because of our growing newcomer population, so that our classroom teachers, our EL coordinators, and our schools in general have all of the tools that they need to help support these families. We are going to continue, hopefully, with our ELD Academy this coming summer, another multilingual family literacy night. We are going to continue co-planning for integrated ELD with our classroom teachers and our EL coordinators. And I am currently working on SEI endorsement coursework to get that approved by the state of Arizona so that we can offer SEI endorsements in-house here through LESD. So I will take time for any questions that you might have for me.
Thank you for that presentation, Mr. Owens. Did you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Thanks for the presentation and congratulations on the audit and the scores. It's nice to know that LESD is a model. And so just keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Moran, did you have any questions or comments?
I do have one question. Director Larson, you mentioned the term scaffolds a few times during this presentation, and I'm not sure that the general public would really know what that means or how that might work. Could you provide an example of what a scaffold would be in this educational setting?
Absolutely. So if we are taking a look at content learning in the classroom, one easy scaffold that our teachers can incorporate might be visuals. So a picture literally is worth 1,000 words. As soon as we tie an image to something, regardless of the language, the student understands what that vocabulary term might be. And so then we can bridge from what the students know that term to be in their native language to English by a visual. Another easy scaffold might be a sentence frame. So if we're asking our students for a response in English, we can frame that question for them or that response for them so that they just need to insert their thinking because it reduces that cognitive load. For example, we might say, what are the 3 laws of motion? So we might start that sentence with the 3 laws of motion are, so therefore the student would just need to insert the actual academic content that we're teaching rather than trying to formulate that entire sentence in English.
Got it. Thank you. No further questions. I do just want to give you kudos. I've seen many, you and your team, I've seen many of these programs basically on my school tours and seen them at work on our campuses. And it's just really encouraging to know that this program is working well and that we continue to tweak and improve it so that we can get even better results for our ELD students. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Our team is incredible at advocating for our students and ensuring that all of our learners learn at their highest ability. So thank you.
I do not have any questions for you either, but I did want to say that I remember last year when you did your presentation and told us your goals for this year, they were pretty lofty, I thought. I think we all kind of thought, wow, that's really big, ambitious goals. But it is amazing to see that you knocked it out of the park in the middle of an audit where we obviously killed it. So you are doing amazing things and we really appreciate all that you're doing and leading your team. I am very excited to see these cafecitos and see how those go. We know that parent engagement, #1 indicator for student success, and that's all students. So if we can get to our parents in any way that we can to get them involved, I am all on board for that. So I love to see that you're doing that. And I'm glad that the multilingual family literacy night was a success. And then we will see that happen again, as I'm excited to, again, find ways to engage our families. So thank you
Excellent.
very much.
Thank you.
Next up would be public comment. We have none, so we're just going to move on to our consent agenda. I will see if anyone has any questions or comments on any of the items in the consent agenda. Mr. Owens,
No, none.
Ms. Moran,
It is a miracle, but I have no questions, comments, or items to pull.
I also have no comments, questions, or items to pull. So if someone would like to make a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Okay, having a first and a second, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Owens,
Yay.
Ms. Moran,
Yay.
I'm also a yay. Motion passes. Consent agenda is approved. And we have no action items tonight or information, so we're just going to move right on to reports. Our first report will come from Superintendent Davidson.
All right. Thank you, Madam President, board members, community, guests, those online. Just a few items to highlight as we move into this school year, the start of the school year. First and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to our human resources team. We are hiring like crazy. It's been a busy summer, but we are preparing to open school safely and with our classrooms filled. So we're getting closer and closer every day. And just wanted to thank that team for all their work. Secondly, on behalf of our parents, we want to thank them as well, because we are seeing in particular this week that front office is really busy on behalf of enrollment. So thank you to our parents out there for getting their children enrolled. We're excited to see them in the upcoming weeks here for the start of school. Thirdly, wanted to highlight our PR team. Hopefully you've been able to see some of the positive news out there on behalf of Litchfield Elementary and the different things that we're doing and the concerns that we have in regards to hyper growth in that northwest part of the community. So I want to thank Sam and his team for responding appropriately and just really putting the needs of our district out there in the public space. And we want to highlight our partnership with Our Fria. Mr. Islas and his team have been very supportive of the work we're doing, not only on behalf of transportation, but the work that our team is doing in regards to growing our graduates. What does that Litchfield learner look like? And so I just wanted to highlight their work in Our Fria, but how it's positively impacting us. Our team is back. We had our first day of administrator training today. We know our front office team is also back working hard at the school site, and we'll see them tomorrow morning for the second day of training. But everybody came back ready to work. And as I shared this morning, it is real. So we're ready to rock and roll for the coming school year. And lastly, I just had two more. Appreciate the governing board, President Zeidman and the team for just giving us this opportunity to serve the community and work on behalf of our children. So a lot of good things are happening. And lastly, for those that need a job, this Thursday, we have an opportunity to come and learn about the openings in our district. If some people have some time on their side and just want to partner with us on behalf of, again, student learning, the excellence that we provide, the service to our communities, we'd love to chat with our folks. What time? Thursday, 9 to 4 over here at the district office. And with that said, it's a great place to be and a great place to work. So thank you, President Zeidman.
Thank you. We are going to move on next to board reports. We'll start with Mr. Owens.
I have nothing to report. Just stay cool out there.
Ms. Moran,
Yes, my board report this month is going to be on self-care. I did not attend any official Litchfield events, but that's because I, and hopefully everyone else out there, has been taking the opportunity to practice self-care in the past month to help rejuvenate and approach the quickly upcoming school year with renewed energy and perspective. Governing board members are people too, and we need to rest and recharge for the challenges ahead. I've been fortunate this month to spend a few days in Sedona and Forest Lakes with family and friends. And I'm currently calling in from New Orleans, where I just finished a treat of coffee and beignets, which I say definitely qualifies as self-care. I look forward to the successful launch of another school year, and I cannot wait to see all the amazing things Litchfield's students, teachers, staff, administrators, district leadership, and the governing board accomplish together this year. So I'll close with lyrics from We're All in This Together from High School Musical. Everyone is special in their own way. We make each other strong. We're not the same. We're different in a good way. Together's where we belong. We're all in this together.
Thank you. I will go last since there's only three of us here today. It was a very quiet month. I have had meetings with our new superintendent and with deputy superintendent as well. But overall, I've just been enjoying summer with my kids. The summer is actually my favorite time. I love having my kids home and the more relaxed schedule and us getting to kind of just unwind from the school year and replenish ourselves before we start another crazy school year. And so that's really what I've been doing these last few weeks. I am excited for what's to come in the next few weeks when we're going to start school. I feel very positive about this next school year. I feel like our staff is going to come back and just be ready to go. The staff that's here, I'm excited to see some of them tomorrow morning at their kickoff breakfast that I'm going to be at, and just get this year started and have another amazing year in this district for our students, because that's why we're all here, is for these kiddos. And so I agree with Board Member Moran in that I hope our teachers and our staff took the time during the summer to fill their buckets how they needed to, so they're ready to come back and give our students their all that they always do. But that's pretty much it today. Next, I just want to thank the administrators that turned in our reports that we received for that. We do have some staff that works year round, whether it's summer or not. And so we like, as board members, to get the reports from you guys and see what you're doing. And we also are looking forward to when our kiddos go back to school, seeing all the pictures of our students again. But we want to thank the staff that did the summer school programs this year. That's a very important part of keeping our kids where they need to be in their learning and making sure that they're able to continue being successful. So thank you, all of you guys, for that. And with that, we're going to end this meeting.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I will second.
Having a first and a second, call for vote. Mr. Owens,
Yay.
Ms. Moran.
Yay.
I'm also a yay. This meeting is adjourned. Another short meeting, folks.